Hey guys, welcome to EDUC 2110 for session number 5. This is your welcome video. So let's go ahead and take a quick walk through this module and see what is going on and what needs to be done, because you do have another project due this particular module, which is the educational hot topics in education project. So I just want to clarify what that is for you. But let's start with our course plan and begin here. So we are in March 12th through Sunday, April the 1st, although I will open it before then. But certainly due on April Fool's Day. No, it is not a fool's joke. It actually is due, of course, on April Fool's. But session number 5, hot topic response post to STEM in education. So we're looking at essentially science, technology, engineering, and math, or more specifically computer science and coding in education, whether that needs to be included in curriculum, into electives, why or why not, and then of course should it be included in elementary school, middle school, or high school, where does that have a place? Respond to your peer, and then of course the hot topics in education assignments. Let's go back and see what all of those are. So here's your checklist, walkthrough of what you need to do, and make sure that you are done and check it off the list. Okay. And so here we go, making sure that you are making progress on your field experience. Of course, that's important, making sure that you get those hours in and get them done. Again, if you are struggling to find a location or a place, there is that list that I've posted on CourseSend of places that are seeking volunteer hours, or great places to actually interact with people. Another site, I connected with somebody at a mentoring village last night in the city of Carrollton, and their goal ultimately, it's a huge goal, but their goal is to actually partner each child in Carrollton with a mentor. And so they do require like 1 hour a week with a child, whether you go to their school and just kind of meet with them in between classes or lunch or something like that. But anyway, just a thought. If you are interested in that, send me an email and I can follow up with you on that. But field experience, then we're going to move into the hot topics of education project. And it looks like this. So essentially this is what our class is about, and I'm just presenting to you major issues in education, but I want you to zero in kind of on one and pick one that's really near and dear to your heart, or what you feel is most underrepresented in the state of Georgia right now, or even nationwide. But what I'm going to ask you to do is find an issue. And so you can find an issue a couple different ways. Scroll down here, click on list of educational issues, and I posted a list here of just some sample things that would be considered to be hot topics in education. So you can do those and click on any of those links. Also down here are all links to newspapers. So for instance, the Los Angeles Times. It actually takes you to the actual website, so you can see what's going on over there in Los Angeles, and it doesn't have to be in Georgia, but anything that school districts are battling and schools are battling. So it can take you to any of those different places. Here's some blogs and other things that might be of interest to you. So lots of stuff here. But you can also do the old-fashioned Google search, and if you type in educational issues or hot topics in education, current issues, it will take you to a couple websites. If you click on the news link, take you to some articles. So anyway, what do you find most challenging, most at the forefront of hot topics in education right now? So that's what you're going to explore. And so what I'm asking you to do is you can either write an essay, which for those that like to write essays, you're welcome to do that, or do a Web 2.0 tool, meaning create a slide share, a Prezi, a VoiceThread, a Glog, a Piktochart, something technology based, since this is kind of the focus of our module. But it's totally up to you what you'd like to do. Then you analyze the issue, answering these questions, do a critique interpretation of it. And again, here are your two options of an essay with word count, etc., references. All that is there for you. I don't have to read it, but those are your two options to do. So give yourself enough time to do some research, to really funnel out and to present me with some new things as to what's going on in our country and how we can even solve it, or refine it. So that's the Hot Topics in Education project. Then we'll move on to the Session 5 issue, which of course is computer science education in Georgia schools. And so how does this play a factor into what's taught in schools? When is it taught? When is it introduced? And is it considered to be what we call an elective, or an additional course versus, right aligned with math and reading and social studies and science, because it is technically computer science. So anyway, lots of good information here for you to read and look through and watch. Down here is a great TED Talk. Try not to kill you with too many of those, but there is some really good things there. And then, of course, specifically for some Georgia sites, in addition to other things of, why coding is being pushed. Is it being pushed from an educational perspective? This is what we need our kids to know. Or is it being pushed from an economic perspective as to what industry and companies want our kids to do so they can come and work for them? So there's a lot of really, give and take issues surrounding STEM and computer coding in schools. But all that more fascinating. When I was in school, which was a long time ago, we didn't have coding classes, of course, back then. It was all about computer typing skills, utilizing Word, Excel, PowerPoint. That was what I did in school. It was definitely not coding. So this is a new future of education. As I met one of my friends, she's been teaching school for about 30 years now, I guess, almost ready to retire. And she has drastically had to change how she structures her business classes over the past, of course, 30 years. So anyway, down here is the prompt of should we teach computer science in Georgia schools, etc. Make sure you give your citations or resources, excuse me, as to where you found the information, or if you look online at something else, feel free to include that. I'm all about other things that you find, which is great. And of course, there is also there's an enrichment, another article here too, Minnesota schools. Really big push and lure there, so that's all important as well. And then it takes you back to another infographic here, and then that should be Hot Topics in Education. So there it is. Anyway, guys, that's all for this particular module. Have a great session, and let me know if I can help and be of assistance. Have a good one.